Hi and welcome to this yoga class on mobility. So we'll be doing a little bit of a mobility warm-up this morning, and this is going to be great to really warm up those joints, get the fluid to those joints, and if you practice it a lot, really help with mobility. Great class to practice first thing in the morning when we're all feeling a little bit stiff. So we'll start in a standing position. And we want our feet about hip distance apart. What you can do is bring your hands into fist, place them in between the feet rather, and that's about hip distance apart, and then just standing here. Bring our arms down by the side, and you can soften the gaze, maybe close the eyes if you like. And we'll just start to take a few deep breaths here. Maybe imagining that there's a string coming out the crown of the head and it's pulling us up. So really creating that nice straight spine. And we're just focusing on our natural breath here. Now from here, so if you can just pick all 10 toes off the ground. Notice how this feels. If you've got your eyes closed, you might feel a little bit wobbly. And I want to just feel all 4 points of the foot grounded on the floor. And then just gently placing each toe down one at a time. And then just noticing how that feels. And then from here, just start to gently rock back and forth. This can be quite challenging if you've got your eyes closed. It really challenges our balance. And then just rock side to side. And maybe even little circles in one direction. And the opposite direction. And then just coming back to center. So we're trying to find our center spot now. Some of us have a tendency to bring the weight forward. Some have a tendency to have the weight in the heel. So we just want to try and really ground down and be centered here. So you can open your eyes now if you like, and we'll just place one hand on the front of the pelvis and one hand on the back. And we'll start to tuck the tailbone under, so you might notice the lower back lengthen. And then tuck the tailbone out, so arching the back slightly. So we're just going to move through these pelvic movements. Getting a bit of mobility in the pelvis, but also noticing our alignment. So what we want to do is do this a few times and then bring our pelvis into the middle, into balance. So when you're ready, just releasing the hands down, noticing where the pelvis is. Hands can come back down by the side. And then we'll move up to the shoulders, so just starting to warm up the shoulders with a few shoulder rolls, so drawing the shoulders up towards the ears and then rolling them down the back. Just doing that a few times. If you like, you can bring your hands to the tops of the shoulders and just start to get a bit more movement in the shoulders. Also in the arms. Notice I like to bend my legs as I do this, so you're starting to build a little bit of movement in the knees as well. It's completely optional, but can feel quite nice and natural for some people. And maybe you might even like to take those circles even bigger, bringing the arms out, so really getting the shoulders warmed up now. And then switching directions. Starting with the big circles, if you're making circles with the arms. And then bringing the hands back onto the shoulders. releasing the hands down and finishing with just those little shoulder rolls. And then coming to stillness, moving up to the neck now. So we'll just start by sending the gaze over the right and then over the left. Gently moving side to side. Noticing here where the shoulders are starting to draw up, and see if you can just roll them down the back and hold them there. It's quite common for a lot of us to hold tension in our shoulders, so we do tend to draw them up, which can create a lot of tension in the neck. And then coming back to centre, and we'll start to draw the chin to the chest. And then send the gaze up. So we don't want to send the head back too far, just as far as feels comfortable. You can always send the gaze up as well. That actually helps to stretch out the eyes and can help with eye strain as well. So likewise, moving the eyes down as you look down. The eyes is something that we don't often consider moving. And then coming back to centre, now we'll take a few half circles with the neck, so drawing the chin towards the right shoulder and then just rolling around to the left. And then back to centre. Get a nice stretch through the side and the back of the head. And then coming to centre and bringing the head back up to standing. So we've done quite a bit for the shoulders, for the neck. Now we're going to work on mobility for the spine, so moving through all 6 movements of the spine. And we'll start with lateral movements. So just dropping that left arm down the left side. You can stay here if you like. You can sweep the right arm up and over. So really get a nice stretch down the armpit and down the side body. Inhale, bringing both arms up overhead if you like, and then dropping down to the right side. Alternatively, you can just work here. And inhale back up to centre. So just moving with your own breath at your own time. We'll do about 4 of these each side, and you can take them nice and slow, moving with your breath. Inhaling to come up and exhaling to go down. 1 more to each side. Bringing both arms up overhead and then just stretching through the fingers, coming onto the balls of the feet, so really creating lots of length. And then exhale, bringing the arms down. So now we'll work on rotation of the spine. So just bringing the hands into prayer in front of the chest, pushing into the hands. We'll just gently start to rotate over towards the left. Inhale back to centre, and then rotate to the right. Inhale to centre. So we'll just move again with this gentle twist, moving with our breath in our own time. We'll do 2 more on each side. So inhale to centre, exhale to twist. Inhale centre, 1 more. And then once you finish that, just coming back to centre, dropping the arms down. So from here, we'll start to work through the forward and backwards movement of the spine. So these movements are a little bit bigger, so just making sure you've got enough room to bring your arms out nice and wide. I'll show you on this side. So start by inhaling, bringing the arms out nice and wide, up and overhead. Hands can either be about shoulder distance apart, or if you like, you can bring the palms together. And then just inhale in here to lengthen. And on the exhale, we'll again bring the arms out nice and wide, start to hinge forward at the hips, bending the knees as much as you like, just come down to a forward fold. Releasing the head and the neck down. You might like to just pedal the feet out for this first one, maybe bending and straighten one leg at a time. You can also take opposite elbows, maybe just gently rock side to side. It's working to warm up the hips and the backs of the hamstrings. And then releasing the arms down. Bring the chin in towards the chest and then just slowly start to peel your way up. Bringing the head up last. And rolling those shoulders down the back. So we'll do that 2 more times. So inhale, reaching the arms up. We want to bring them out nice and wide as we do this. So getting a nice stretch through the chest as we bring the arms up and overhead. Maybe bringing the hands together as we lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, hinging at the hips, bringing the arms out nice and wide. And then folding forward, bending the knees, releasing the head down. Maybe bringing the hands to opposite elbows again. Taking a nice deep breath here. And then releasing the arms, chin to chest, slowly rolling up. 1 vertebrae at a time, bringing the head up last. And rolling those shoulders down and back. So last time, inhale, arms out nice and wide as we bring the arms up and overhead. Then exhale, arms out wide as we hinge forward at the hips for our forward fold. Hands can come to elbows again, releasing the head and the neck down. Taking a round of breath here before we release the arms, chin to chest, rolling up. Stacking the head last and rolling those shoulders down and back. So we've done a little bit to warm up the spine. Now we'll move further down onto the hips. So bringing the hands to the hips, we'll just start with some hip circles in one direction. You can make these as big or as small as you like. And then switching directions. And then coming back to centre. Arms can come down by the side. So again, we'll work a little bit more with those hips and really start to open up the hips a bit. So if you're balanced, you might like to hold onto a wall or something, or maybe a chair, or you can bring your left hand to your hip, or for some people it might help to just have out to the side, see how you go. And we'll start with the right leg, so really strengthening, engaging the muscles in the left leg. We'll bring the right leg up in front and then just open that hip out to the side. You can tap the toe down behind you to help with the balance. So just opening that hip up. And we'll do that 5 or 6 times. And then once you've done that, switching directions, so bringing that hip forward. Trying to keep the balance if you can, but if you fall out, that's perfectly fine. And you might feel or hear a few cracks and pops, I know I can. And then once you've done 5 or 6, just placing that foot back down, taking it to the opposite side, so engaging the muscles in the right leg, lifting that left leg up, and start to just open the hip out towards the left, tapping that toe down if you like. If your balance is quite good and you want to challenge yourself, then you can always try doing this without tapping the back toes down. And once you've done 5 or 6, swap in direction, bringing that knee forward. I find it does help to just focus on a spot in front of you when you're doing any balancing poses. So maybe don't look at me on the camera. And then once you've done 5 or 6, placing that foot down. So now we'll move on to the knees, so just bringing the feet together. So you want the big toes to touch with a little gap between the heels. And we'll just start to bend down, bringing our hands onto our knees. We want our knees together, and we'll just start to roll through the knees. So bending forwards and then straighten them as we come back. And then switching direction. And then slowly coming back up to standing, and finally moving onto the feet. So we'll start to mobilise the feet a bit more, and to do that we'll do a balancing exercise, or balancing pose. We did this a little bit earlier on in the class, and we'll do this a few times again. So inhale, reaching the arms up, come onto the toes, reaching up through the fingers, and then exhale, bringing the arms down, dropping the heels back. So see if you can synchronise the movement with your breath. So on the inhale, rising the arms up, holding it there, and then exhale, slowly bringing the hands down, dropping the feet down at the same time. Inhale to come up, hold it there, reaching through the fingers, and exhale, slowly making your way back down. 2 more times. Inhale, hold it up the top, exhale, and I've lost count, so let's just do it one more time. Inhale to come up, hold it there, and exhale, slowly making your way back down. Keep hands down by the side. And that brings us to the end of the class, so we'll just finish how we started. Standing position, feet hip distance apart, maybe softening the gaze, closing the eyes. And we'll start to bring our focus on the breath. Maybe noticing how the body feels now that we've done the practice. Noticing whether you can feel any tension anywhere, or whether you can feel any warmth. And then taking a deep breath in through the nose, feel the belly expand. And exhale, sigh out of the mouth. And gently you're going to open the eyes if you've got them closed. And that brings us to the end of this class. I hope the body feels a little bit more mobile. Like I said, this was a great practice to start first thing in the morning, because we really go through the whole body and try and build some mobility in the joints. Thank you for practicing with me today.